Tonight, frustration growing, and so are the lines at one of the busiest trade ports at the Texas-Mexico border.
Estamos viendo que no tenemos apoyo de nadie.
For 3 days, truckers carrying fresh produce and other cargo have been protesting, stuck at a standstill at the Far Reynosa International Bridge near McAllen, Texas. Some now waiting as long as 12 hours to enter the country.
In response to the Biden administration's plan to end Title 42, and more importantly, great pandering effort to the Republican base, Governor Greg Abbott is forcing all trucks to be searched that are crossing the U.S.-Mexico border, specifically in the city of Pharr. Now, let's talk a little bit more about this. Because this move isn't federally supported, it's something that state police are having to do. So let's look at some of these numbers. So in the city of Pharr, $12 million worth of produce crosses into Pharr every single day from Mexico. Now, searching every single truck, why? Well, it's supposed to be because of drugs and, smuggling immigrants, human trafficking and stuff like that. But the end result is that you're really putting a wedge between that $12 million worth of produce that's crossing in and out of the country every single day. So let's talk a little bit more about how businesses are being slowed up by this, just pandering move and stunt by Greg Abbott.
The protests coming after a new order by Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who is now requiring state troopers to inspect trucks coming into Texas, a second checkpoint following the usual inspection by U.S. Custom and Border officials.
Cartels use vehicles, many of them dangerous commercial trucks, to smuggle immigrants, deadly fentanyl, and other illegal cargo into Texas.
So in Greg Abbott's attempt to, fight against drug trafficking and human smuggling, forcing state police to search and inspect every single truck crossing into Pharr, Texas is causing 14-hour delays, and they've seen a 60% drop in commercial traffic. Specifically, you look at the Far Reynosa International Bridge, typically 3,000 commercial crossings per day would happen. That's dwindled down to 500 to 700. 14-hour delays with that $12 million worth of produce that comes into the country from Mexico every single day.
But critics argue the impact goes far beyond these safety measures. Today, the White House adding pressure. Press Secretary Jen Psaki condemning Abbott's orders in a statement calling them redundant, that the disruptions to trade are impacting jobs and raising prices for families in Texas and across the country.
The biggest issue with that, I just kind of listed out some of how businesses being slowed down, is that if you're really trying to get at the crux of, drug trafficking, well, the biggest problem is that drugs come into this country from other places than Texas. So you're slowing down all this traffic just so that drugs can go in from Arizona and New Mexico and fly in and, be shipped in through submarines and every other way that they do it. This is slowing down nothing. All this is a pandering exercise by Greg Abbott to the Republican base all over the country. Nothing more.
Business owners in Texas now warning shoppers should expect food shortages in the next few days.
Putting this inspection and creating this disruptive to the supply chain is not the correct answer.
So let's read some of the comments from some of the people within Texas's state government and some of the businesses. So according to the state's conservative agricultural commissioner, Sid Miller, he urged Abbott to reverse course, saying, "You cannot solve a border crisis by creating another crisis at the border." Arnaldo Curiel, the general manager of Sunrise Produce in McAllen, said backups at the border have caused customers to cancel orders and left him wondering how much longer he could afford to keep a workforce of 150 people, saying, "We're either going to have to let guys go or it's going to cost us to keep paying them." Now, this completely flies in the face of everything that real conservatives stand for, private industry. You even have conservatives within your own state government saying, man, this doesn't make any sense. Because again, at the end of the day, you're not stopping drug trafficking. You're not stopping human trafficking by doing this. The United States consumes more drugs than any nation on earth. That's why cartels exist. That's why they ship most of their products here, because we're the ones doing them. So if we really want to crack down on, the issue of drug abuse in this country, we're going to have to treat people who do drugs like they have health issues and maybe we should fix the economy so that people have better job markets around them. Things like that actually make a difference in why people turn to drugs in the first place. But of course, these aren't issues that Greg Abbott cares about. All he cares about is pandering to the increasingly right-wing base of the Republican Party, or really Donald Trump's base.